Imagine trying to win a war where every successful strike against your enemy guarantees your own defeat. You draw blood, and instead of weakening your opponent, that blood explodes into a fresh squad of identical, fully armed soldiers. That is the exact mathematical trap presented by the mythological demon Raktbeej. In Hindu lore, Raktbeej secured a divine blessing, a boon, from Lord Brahma, granting him an absurdly overpowered defense mechanism. This diagram tracks the biological mechanics of that blessing. A single drop of Raktbeej's blood falls, strikes the ground, and immediately splits to manifest a perfect, fully powered clone. One drop becomes 2 demons, 2 become 4, 4 become 8. In warfare, the fundamental objective is to inflict damage on your opponent. But against Raktbeej, drawing blood acts as a mechanism of rapid self-sabotage. Conventional combat logic completely collapses here. To strike the enemy is to multiply the threat, making the demon functionally invincible against any traditional army. Armed with this infinite regenerative ability, Raktbeej grew arrogant. Obsessed with his own power, he launched an unprovoked massive assault on the Devas, the heavenly beings of Hindu mythology. The Devas threw everything they had at the invading force, but their traditional weaponry, swords, spears, arrows, relied on piercing armor and drawing blood, which only spawned an overwhelming, multiplying horde of demons. The heavenly defenses were entirely overrun. Facing total eradication, the desperate gods retreated and sought out the intervention of goddess Durga. Durga is revered as the universe's ultimate embodiment of divine feminine energy. She is the great protector, defined by her deep compassion and her role as a guardian of cosmic order. But the gods were asking their most compassionate protector to enter a battlefield where her traditional, measured methods of fighting would only accelerate the destruction of the universe. When goddess Durga arrived on the battlefield, she engaged Raktbeej with her immense power. She brought the full force of her arsenal to bear, delivering precise, heavy strikes against the demon. The physical toll was immediate. Her weapons tore into Raktbeej, and his blood began to spill profusely onto the cracked soil of the battlefield. This tactical map illustrates the immediate fallout. As the gold icon representing Durga strikes the red enemy, dozens of new red icons spawn in a tight perimeter, and the situation deteriorates rapidly. Every subsequent strike causes the red icons to double and quadruple, actively burying the gold icon beneath an endless wave of clones. Benevolent, measured protection is a fatal flaw in this specific war. Surviving this onslaught requires a total deviation from standard strategy and a complete shift in the protector's nature. Durga recognized that fighting with restraint was feeding the enemy. To stop an infinite threat, she had to completely abandon her measured, compassionate form. From her intense concentration emerged her fierce aspect, goddess Kali. She manifested with a terrifying visage, pitch-black complexion, wild, disheveled hair, and a heavy necklace strung with severed demonic heads. In the cosmic hierarchy, Kali represents the absolute extreme of the divine feminine. She is the irresistible force of raw, unrestrained destruction. Kali introduced a brutal new battlefield tactic. Instead of swinging a weapon to wound Raktbeej, she attacked with the sole intention of violently consuming him. She charged the demon and struck deeply. But as the wounds opened, Kali intercepted the spilling blood midair, devouring every single drop before it could touch the soil. By shifting the action from inflicting damage to total consumption, Kali bypassed the exact wording of Lord Brahma's blessing. The cloning cycle broke, and the immortal demon was eradicated. But consuming a demonic army comes with a severe cost. The sheer volume of demon blood proved highly intoxicating, triggering a completely new crisis. Kali slipped into an uncontrollable, blind frenzy. Driven by the residual energy of the slaughter, she began racing across the universe, threatening to completely annihilate the very existence she had just fought to save. The gods watched in panic. Knowing that physical force could never subdue the ultimate destroyer, they begged Lord Shiva, Kali's husband, to intervene. Shiva enacted a highly unconventional, entirely passive countermeasure. He walked directly into the path of Kali's rampage and voluntarily lay down on the ground. Lost in her rage, Kali stepped firmly onto Shiva's chest. The sudden, shocking realization that she had struck her own husband triggered a sharp psychological break, instantly dispelling her fury and snapping her back to her original state. The universe's ultimate destructive force could not be beaten by equal force. It could only be neutralized by an act of absolute grounding submission. Within Hindu tradition, the dynamic between Durga and Kali highlights a sophisticated understanding of how universal order is maintained. Durga provides the daily, necessary functions of existence. She is the nurturing compassion and measured protection that keeps the cosmos running smoothly. Kali is the emergency valve. She is the unconstrained annihilator, kept dormant until evil becomes entirely insurmountable by conventional, polite means. True preservation of a system sometimes requires the capacity for terrifying ferocity. To protect the greater good of creation, you must occasionally be willing to